as the head coach, I'm responsible for the preparation and performance of the team, and the result we got, I got to do better. Got to do a better job. So when it comes to the game, the actual game that took place, I thought, we went down to Northern Iowa and had good energy at the start of the game. We get a 3-and-out, and we're moving the football and getting some first downs and in their end, and then have an unfortunate turnover, which gave their team some life and the building some life, and they go up 7-0. And then a couple other key points in the game, we have an opportunity once again to get it to a one-score game, and we miss a field goal late in the half, and they go down and score on a explosive play, and now when it becomes a 3-score game, that now it's critical when we get the ball to start the second half that we get a score. And it went the opposite way, and then it gets into a game that really puts them at an advantage. They're good up front. They can rush the passer very well with their front, and so overall not the result we wanted, and we got to figure out a way to recover from it. And that's a really important thing for our team to do right now. We had our corrections practice on Sunday like we normally do. We're off today, and tomorrow we got to have a lot of energy and great focus at our practice. We're getting ready for Indiana State. I have a lot of respect for Coach Mallory. I think he does an awesome job with his team. Their team, everybody can see their record, but they don't look like that when they're playing. And everybody in this league has good players that love playing football. So we need to have a good week of prep and really come out with a lot of energy on Saturday at the Alaris Center.
It looks like Indiana State's used a few different quarterbacks. I don't know if it's an injury situation or effectiveness at times, but do you know who to anticipate, or does that change?
Yeah, I think we'll anticipate that they'll all play. That's what it, we don't see anything different. They did play a couple guys against us last year, and then they have another guy that comes in and is primarily run, but he also throws the ball. But the top two on the depth chart, they're talented. Big guys, strong arms, and can throw the football. I think, they're talented. Their top two receivers have 25 catches each. And the running back, really big game a few weeks ago and very capable. I thought they played really well Saturday against a very good defense. They just didn't score and had opportunities to do that, and that changes in a hurry if they get into the end zone.
Do you have any update on Gavin Zebarth or Nate DeMontenac?
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't have any official update, but I will say the depth of our team will be important this week, and it'll challenge our team, which is exciting for those guys, disappointing for some of the guys that are dealing with some injuries, Saturday. And then, we got to be excited about the opportunity for the other guys, but our depth will be challenged this week for sure.
When Gavin has been out, what area does that make it more challenging? Is it having a physical short yardage back? Is it a guy who can pick up the pass rush? What skill set do you need picked up?
Well, he was really running the ball well, and inside, especially what I thought he was really doing a great job of was when he gets in the secondary breaking tackles, and really a hard guy to get down. I think, Luke runs really physical. Isaiah's run physical, and then we got to get some other guys ready to go here. For us to really keep that balance on offense, that's when we've been most effective in running the football. So we got to find a way to run it and move the chains that way and put us in favorable down and distance situations.
When you, as you mentioned, that you needed to be better, more prepared, and you look at maybe addressing road issues, do you make massive changes to schedules, to the way you practice, or what do you look at when you try to fix something like that?
I really think everything's a mindset. We're a team that really seems to thrive on momentum or big plays or getting ahead, and we got to do a good job of not being discouraged when things don't go our way in a game. I think that's one area that we really need to grow. And for me personally, I need to address those situations and really do a good job of handling those situations throughout the week, that we build to that. I will say this, we practice with a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and I really felt we were good to start the game. It's within the game, so how do you replicate those situations? That's a hard thing to do, but it's one place that we need to grow, and we need to do a better job of that. And I think all of us need to share in that, but ultimately the responsibility is mine, and the first thing is addressing it as an issue, to call attention to it, and we got to be better in those situations.
I know you were praising Indiana State early on. They're a team that's really fought, especially their last two games. Like you said, their record doesn't indicate how good they are. They're going to be coming out with a lot of energy, too. You guys have a lot to prove. Just kind of what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, we got to expect a really excited football team with a lot of talent. 2 weeks ago, they're in a one-score game with Northern Iowa. This past week, they're versus South Dakota, a team that's really off to a really good start this year, and it's a 3-3 game at halftime, and it ends up 17-3, but it's really a 10-3 game, and then one big play that their opponent scored on them. So every week you need to be ready, and if you look at college football, if you observe it, the games that we aren't even part of, you just got to be ready. And, I got a lot of coaching friends. We touch base after games and just try to share some thoughts on how we handle situations. And I think that's part of professional development, and keep developing. And, as long as you do this, if you had all the answers, that would really be something you could rest and sit back on and think you got all the answers. But you got to constantly be learning and looking for answers to questions. And I do that and try to get better and better. When I'm asked, hey, what can you do better? I'm looking for those answers too, and trying to talk to friends and guys that I respect a lot in the game.
You credited Northern Iowa's defense, but for a team that's been so explosive offensively this year, as a coaching staff, don't take this the wrong way, does it catch you by surprise when you guys are shut out with how strong you've been this year?
Well, I will always say that nothing really surprises me. You got to go in expecting to play well and then live with the results. They were really good, but on defense, and they're strong up front. But we had some opportunities and didn't finish. The first 3 drives we're moving the ball and didn't finish, and that can be frustrating when just a couple of weeks ago we finished every drive. Now you got to be able to handle those situations, and it's one play here or there that really gives a lot of life to your team. So that's the one thing we got to address. Frustration is a bad mood. It doesn't help you. Urgency and excitement and belief, those are things that you really got to have at the top of your mind when it's really tough. When it's really tough, that's when you really got to believe and get things done. And you can't do it alone. One guy can't do it alone. It's got to be a group effort.
Coach, you mentioned 17 points allowed last week for Indiana State. What have you seen from them defensively in the early scouting process?
Yeah, really good up front. I know number 35 is a really good linebacker, makes a lot of tackles in space. I think they're really good at corner, and they tackled really well last week. They were put in some tough spots, and they made it hard on their opponent. So, but they play hard defensively. But I think they're good up front. They got some pass rushers. They created and forced some turnovers, and they did this against some good teams. Because if you play in this league, you're playing against good teams. So this will be a team that comes in with, I think, that game will give them some confidence too, because they played really well.
Talked a lot about what you guys want to fix, but were there positives, and if so, what were they from Saturday?
Well, there's always going to be positives. We point out, we had some guys play with really great effort. I thought our initial start was pretty good. the longer we were on the field, the more that their talent shows offensively, but there were good stretches where we gave ourselves an opportunity. And then the positives were that we did move the ball early in the game, but you need to finish. And that's one thing we got to stress this week. And then, we know that once you get down in games and you have to get away from your game plan a little bit, that it gets really difficult, but that's when you really got to be tough and believe.
We talked about the road stuff, but how nice will it be to be home this week for a chance to bounce back?
Yeah, we like playing in the Alaire Center, and I think it helps us. We were just down at a place that has a really good home record. It's painted on their walls. Teams generally play well at home, and it's more challenging on the road, and that's where we have to grow as a program.